can be polarizing. Fame is, however, pursued at all costs by many of us. But why? Why do we seek notoriety and public attention as our primary function for success? Many of us are aware of the problem and facade that comes with the Hollywood pursuit and what sacrifices and risks are present. And yet, this is the pathway most glamorized, at least in the States, and is widespread. This is just something I was pondering and wanted to tackle a bit today. Now, I'm by no means an expert on this topic. Oh no. But I did want to have a discussion and mention some things and what Christ has to say about some of these. Business and power. I see this being a more selfish motive to go about success, celebrity, and fame, because this one tends to be mostly about you. It has more of a chance for you to do it just because it pays the bills, not because it really fills you in any type of significant way, any type of healthy way. This is where people really get into trouble when it comes to like producers, or when it comes to like CEOs that, you know, all they're focused on is money, and so all they care about is money, and so they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep that money coming in, which can be a bad sign for employees. It could mean that they're going to be overworked. It could mean they're going to be underappreciated for the sake of making more money on the side, or making more money cutting corners somewhere. For those reasons, it's unhealthy. It is selfish, and it's inherently wicked when we think about how God thinks of selfishness, and how God has even spoken about wickedness in His Word. These are traits that He does not admire. So as Christians, I think that it's more important for us to not go into success or go into seeking these things purely out of a business or a power mindset, because it will not ultimately profit us in the end. Whatever we may make here, we will ultimately lose at the end of the day, because we can't take what we, gain to our grave. And so it's better to find purpose in these things and to find, the power you can get from them. Purpose, or rather happiness, I think is the more apropos word here. I find a lot of people who are famous or who want to pursue fame and success of that nature, it comes out of a desire to be happy. We just want to be happy. We want to be able to, wake up and feel good about ourselves, and we want to be able to tell ourselves it was all worth it, and, we pleasure ourselves in certain ways because, we're happy doing what we're doing. And there's an inherent, to me, issue with that desire, because we can't be happy all the time. And pursuing happiness is fleeting. At the end of the day, happiness isn't going to last. And so to make that your one desire is kind of for naught, because it's kind of a pursuit of the wind. To pursue happiness, it's not going to fill you. Even if you reach some sort of happiness, you're not going to stay there. It's impossible to stay happy. I think because purpose, at the end of the day, is what you're called to do. It's what you were made to do. In that, happiness can be found, but I think more so in that real joy and satisfaction is found. But more so than that, I think that purpose is found in God, the thing that God called us to do. And we should attribute that credit to Him. Otherwise, even if we do find what we're called to do, we'd be pursuing it without the one who caused us to it. And so we wouldn't be able to fully unwrap the gift of it without the one who gave it. And so I think for Christians especially, happiness should not be our goal. Happiness is fleeting, and it will not sustain us, especially if we choose to be successful and have the fame route and that be our main desire. It's going to leave us empty all the time. Whereas if our purpose is to be successful in this area, if our purpose is to be successful in performing arts media, or it's pop culture, whatever, if God called us to that, and if our purpose is there, and fame comes as a byproduct, I think there can be an excuse made, or there can be an argument made that it's okay. But when it comes down to just being happy, that is just a prevailing statement, and I don't think that it's going to leave people with the outcome that they desire to have, because it's devoid of God and devoid of purpose. Identity. I'm gonna keep this one brief because it kind of bleeds into purpose a little bit. People want to be famous because they think their identity is going to be found in fame. That in being successful, ultimately what they're going to find in that success is who they're supposed to be. That the money, that the power, that the notoriety, the attention, in that they're going to find who they're supposed to be. And they're going to find their true self in all that. And again, for me, at the end of the day, if it's devoid of God, it's devoid of purpose, and it's devoid of true sustainable value. And so back to purpose. If our purpose is to be successful in a certain space, then I think that we're going to find our identity in God through what He's called us to do. But if we're seeking identity in these things that we want to make us happy, again, happiness is fleeting, happiness is empty, and our identity is not going to be found there. We're going to find lots of people telling us maybe what we should be, but we're not going to go to the source, the one who has created us, intimately, formed us in our mother's womb. We're not going to go to Him. And so what we're going to find, either from other people or from inside of ourselves, will not be right, will not be what's going to satisfy us, because it was going to be devoid of the one who created us.
Say look inward, look into your heart, and all those kind of things, and that is probably the wrong move.
Maybe just a little bit.
So because a lot of times, man, it's like when you're looking inward, you're looking in. First of all, who knows what's in there. Right. There's what's inside your heart is really a deposit of the things that you've taken in over the years you've been on this planet. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Right. And so whatever you've seen and heard, you have literally deposited inside your heart. So there's tons of junk. And I'm just going to talk about me.
Hey, come on. Testimony.
Tons of junk.
Identity should be found, I believe, in God first. And through Him, we find purpose, and we find all these other things that are more sustainable. When it comes to us and glory, human beings and glory, we weren't made for glory. And that is why I believe we see so many celebrities going crazy, feeling empty, feeling bombarded and burdened, lost even. We weren't made for glory. We were made to give glory to God. God is the only one who should receive glory. He's the only one who can handle it. And so I think that is where I kind of land the plane on this whole thing, is that it's okay to have some semblance of fame. It's okay to have some semblance of success. These things aren't inherently wrong. At the end of the day, because we're human, because we're flawed, and because we tend to like idol worship, we can get carried away very easily and give people more glory, more praise than they are not only worthy of, but than they can handle. And then they are caught in this kind of crisis of, okay, how do I handle all this attention, all of this praise that I'm getting? How do I handle all this? Because we weren't made to carry that. Anytime there was glory given to somebody in the Bible, God allowed them to have that glory, but it was never for long. And when it got to the point where it became idol worship, He stripped that glory away, and it always came back to Him. He would always make sure the glory was His. At the end of the day, God will not allow His glory to be given to anyone else. Even if it's for a time, He's always going to get it back. Even if we try to hold on to it, we ultimately can't carry the weight of glory. We can't carry the weight of true praise and of true adoration and of that status that tends to come with idol worship. tends to come with putting our all into and onto something, putting our worth into something. When we worship something, we're giving it worth. And when we give people, fallible beings, finite beings, the worth that we would give to a God or a creator, it's uneven, and it tends to break people. Even if they don't say it outwardly, these people are being broken. These people are being shattered and being burdened by the amount of weight that comes with popularity and fame. That's why we have so many artists and popular individuals, celebrities, cracking under the pressure, and there are all these horror stories about what happened to people after a certain point, because the weight of it is not sustainable. Ultimately, fame and celebrity are unhealthy. While being famous isn't necessarily a sin, the pursuit of it for means of comfort, pleasure, or security can be. I believe our infatuation with success and celebrity can really boil down to selfishness and idol worship. And so I just wanted to kind of get some things off my chest about it. I was thinking about it, thoughts got kind of deep, and then this video happened. But it really is a crazy thing to think about, how inundated we are with pop culture today, and how fixated we are on the idea of celebrity and on putting so much worth on a person. I think some of it is systemic. Some of it is because we've grown up and we've seen certain things that told us this. We've also have media pushed to us that kind of has the same type of messaging that, this is what you should aspire to. And so it's no wonder that we tend to have these thoughts. But I think at the end of the day, that is very dangerous. And it's ultimately not what the Lord would have us do. It's not what God would have us to pursue. Our desire and our pursuit should be Him. And through Him, if fame, if success come, then the glory ultimately still goes back to Him. And that should be our pursuit. If we, are pursuing anything, it should be God. And then if fame comes, we'll have the right response. We won't take it all in on ourselves. We will be able to say, He gets the glory. Anything I do, He gets the glory. And so the weight, won't necessarily burn us out or burden us, because we know that at any moment, we can have it, we can lose it. But it's not on us to hold the hopes of people. It's on us then to turn their attention to the one who blessed us. And He's going to be the one who can really, truly help and or save you. So hope some of that made sense. Again, it was kind of a flow of consciousness a little bit there. I tried to keep some of these things together, but I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to kind of get out and see if anybody had any similar thoughts to this, or if they had pushback, and just kind of give different perspectives on things that happen to us and we see every day. But yeah, that's the video. I pray you were blessed by it. I also pray you're having a wonderful day, evening, week, weekend, whatever happens to be. I pray that God keeps you and covers you wherever you are. And until next time, peace and deuces.